Hello, StarCraft fans! This Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. This is the game between Neeb and Nerchio on Frozen Temple. In the bottom right side of the map, we have the red Zerg player. It is Nerchio. And in the top left side of the map, we have the blue Protoss player. It is Neeb. So this is from the round of 8 from the DreamHack Open 2016, and let's get right on into it. So Frozen Temple is apparently a very, very popular map with professional StarCraft 2 players. I've seen this a lot of times on my channel. I don't think anybody ever vetoes it just because there's a very, very safe natural to take. Your third is right next to your first base, and it's just a nice little thing, and there's a fourth natural progression to a fourth. And there's a lot of watchtowers and all that great stuff. So we will see how they will take advantage of that. So Neeb is an American professional StarCraft 2 player. He is maining Protoss and is sponsored by Ting, the only player who is sponsored by Ting, a mobile phone provider. I think they are based out of Europe, which is weird, but oh wait, no. I know about this. This is I think it's an American company that does, is it like half price stuff? I don't know, it's kind of a discount mobile provider anyway. That is good news for us because that means that we get to watch Neeb. And Neeb is an upcoming StarCraft 2 player, and we will see what he has in store. Hatch first play here by Nerchio. Extractor into spawning pool soon afterwards. Very, very standard stuff indeed. And a wall off going right here. Very nice. This unbuildable rock thing used to be in the way, but Blizzard patched that fairly quickly, and so now the gateway and the cybernetics core can very safely wall off that ramp. No lings can get through whatsoever. Unless maybe this little spot, but I think we're going to see an adept popping out of here soon enough to wall that one off. The probe sees the spawning pool isn't even finished yet, so there's really nothing to worry about as far as Neeb is concerned. Overlords are scouting on out into different positions. I assume one's going to end up about here, one about here, and then they will fly into the main base in the natural of Neeb to see what's going on eventually. There is the adept being chrono boost out. It looks like it is not going to sit back here and just sit on this help to wall off. Instead, I believe it's going to go out and try to get some harassment done. That can be difficult, though, against a Zerg player who knows what they're doing. The Queens do a good job absorbing shots. Speedlings can get surrounds fairly easily as well, and I just don't know what a single adept is going to be able to do. Is this? Yeah, some lings are heading out. They're taking the roundabout way, and Nerchio sending, oh, quick third base. I like this play. You did recognize there is an early hatch coming out here, or early nexus, rather, that is completed here for his opponent. Did scout that out very nicely and going for a third hatch of his own to respond. I love that. Psionic transfer being used. Here comes the adept, and it does finish its psionic transfer. So the Queen's going to get some shots off early, which is nice. That's very useful for Nerchio, but is there anything else here to kill that thing? It is running away. The psionic transfer is going to pop it up into the main base. No, it gets canceled. The cancel there. Neeb does not want to go inside at all. Even though there's only a Queen, I believe the adept could have gotten a couple kills, but instead chose not to. Some lings were trying to do some harassment right on up there, but they're getting shot to death. I think the adept might kill all of them. Yep, gets 2 kills there for its trouble. Well done indeed. Meanwhile, back in Protoss land, it's a Stargate opening. Stargate with a couple gateways. There's that Phoenix production that Protoss players are such fans of. In Legacy of the Void, the Phoenix do so well against Zerg players. We'll have to see what Nerchio does to try and combat that. Usually it turns into, will the Zerg player set down some static defense? Will the Zerg player get a Spire? Because if you don't, those Phoenix can really give you a runaround. Good scouting by this Overlord from Nerchio, taking exactly what is happening here. Does see the Phoenix coming out, does see the additional gateways, the Stalker trying to shoot it out of the sky. We'll get there eventually, but not before Nerchio sees pretty much the entirety of Neeb's main base. These Speedlings are being harassful, man. I'm not sure if that's a word, but they are harassing as hard as they can. Another Overlord going to die, though. Neeb doing a great job clearing the Overlords out, knows exactly where they are, the standard positions that Zerg players want them to go to. Nerchio does get supply blocked momentarily, a couple more seconds, and that will not be the case. Ah, they pinned an adept. The lings actually pinned an adept against the wall there. That is not good news for that adept. 3 more adepts coming on out, and a mothership core. That should be enough to handle this handful of lings. Can they possibly snipe off the probe? They're dancing around. No, good positioning here by the adepts, by the mothership core, not allowing that to happen. Phoenix flying right on in. Yes, there's a Queen. A Queen is good against 2 Phoenix, but considering they're still being produced, that will be the 4th one after this 3rd one makes it to the group. I just, you got to do it, man. You got to do it. And he does. He does throw down the Spore Crawler. It's a little bit too late, though, I think. Here we go. 1 worker dead. 2 workers dead. 3 workers dead. 4 workers dead right away, and the Phoenix does live, just barely though. Oh wait, no, that's energy. He's fine. Hit points are fine. I can't tell what the color is when it's like 0 that way. There's a Spore Crawler here in the natural, which is good. The main base has one too. Alright, so Nerchio, a little bit late, did lose 4 workers, but that is A-OK. Could have been a whole lot worse. I'm not going to assume he's going to lose the game at this point. 10 workers at a time though for Nerchio. It is now 49 to 51, but there we go, 53 to 52. So many workers in production all the time right now. Nerchio is macroing as hard as he can. That third base, he knows it's up. Does he know it's up? Did he see it planted? He saw it planted, so he knows that's there. Phoenix flying around, trying to find more workers to kill, specifically these ones. Wait, did he not make a Spore Crawler here? Oh, he did. Okay, it's just perfectly hidden by that Overlord. Phoenix still continuing to buzz around overhead annoyingly like insects. They did get 3 worker kills. They want to kill a lot of these Overlords, but that Spore Crawler positioning and the Queen Help is a little bit too much for them. Holding this Zelnaga Watchtower, not holding this one, a little bit surprising, but I guess this does provide full coverage across this whole way. This main thoroughfare through the middle of the map, but meanwhile, no more Phoenix production. It looks like Neeb decided to stop at 5. 5 total. Phoenix seems to be a magic number for these Protoss players. Hydralisk Den now on the way. Another dead drone just trying to transfer, man. That's all that's happening. Another Spore Crawler coming up for Nerchio. Really wants to deal with these Phoenix. 3 Queens and a Spore at that base. Yeah, that should be enough. And a 4th base coming up too. The Phoenix do manage to scout that one out. They can't do anything about it because they can't attack ground units or buildings. I guess they can attack ground units if they lift them, but it can't attack buildings because they cannot be lifted because apparently they are too heavy. Group spread continuing here. What is the follow-up after the Phoenix, Neeb? What are you working on, son? Immortal production, and +1 attack. All right, so definitely a lot of Immortals in store for our Protoss player, Neeb. Has some Sentries, has some Adept Stalkers, an Observer. I like this composition. And what is Nerchio going for besides drones? A lot of Hydras, getting Muscular Augments, getting melee attack level 2 now, which means maybe he's going for Ultras eventually. It's just we don't usually see that without any Ultras coming out later on down that tech path. Phoenix boosting around, trying to see what they can see. These Overlords are hiding as hard as they can right next to that Spore Crawler. They can't necessarily hide because they're flying units. A couple Scouting Lings do get taken out there. Spore Crawlers getting shots on off, and the Phoenix are forced to retreat. So this is how you do it, Zerg players. Get a couple Spore Crawlers, 1 Spore Crawler, a couple Queens. You can hold off a fairly large number of Phoenix. And if the Protoss player overcommits to Phoenix, then at that point I think you're going to win anyway, just because they're not great in straight-up battles against things like Roaches, against Hydras. Show up to the front door of your opponent, and you'll probably win that one. Just sniping off workers, though, doing a pretty good job of it. 12 workers have been killed thus far. Let's get rid of that one. Some Lings trying to do stuff, some more Lings trying to get inside. Not going to happen. Holding that line is Neeb. Neeb is not going to allow anybody inside that base. Lurker Den coming up now. That Immortal count, though, a little bit intimidating. They're very good against Lurkers. Yes, they take extra damage from them, but their range is good. Where is it here? A range of 6, and they hit like trucks, man. If you have something else absorbing the hits for the Immortals as they snipe down those Lurkers, you can take out a lot of them fairly quickly. We've seen that quite a bit. So it's a big Hydra Ling Ball, which pretty good against this composition, I would say. So here we go. Lings trying to come up. They snipe down that pylon incredibly fast. The Hydra's getting rid of that one, too. Another attack over this way. The Lings are going to force a cancel on that base. Nice double-pronged attack here from Nerchio. Can they get it? There are enough Lings here. They have +1 attack. It's going to be very close indeed. No! 20 hit points remaining on that thing, and it does end up living. Wow! What a save by Neeb, but that is very low. Very low on health. I feel like another 20 Lings or so could deal with that. Maybe not even 20, like 10. Stalkers are getting warped in, though. Phoenix flying around. Here comes the main army from Neeb, trying to sneak down along this left bottom side. The Phoenix are getting mixed into. They can do things like lift up the Hydras and kill them. Overseer scouts exactly what is happening inside the Protoss base, which isn't a whole lot that he didn't already know, but just in case, you want to make sure of that. Sneaking right on in, though. Here come the Stalkers. Here come the Hydras. Nice concave. Guardian Shield does come up. Some pretty good force fields there, too. No Ravagers to knock those down. The first Lurkers are in production right now. 7 of them in particular. Throwing up at this Frozen Temple Zelnaga Watchtower. I am really shocked Nerchio hasn't tried to kill that yet. I think that's what these Lings are for. Anyway, he knows where the army is. He knows the army is here. They get a sentry. Nicely done. Look out, Hydras. Don't overextend. They don't. They back on out. The Lings going for it. They get a full surround on these Stalkers. Stalkers, not a great choice. When it comes to Zerglings, double Photon Overcharge is popping up. The Mothership Core is here. It's enough to force those Lings and Hydras away. Pooping Creep there to make sure the Protoss player does not expand in that location. Both players are just dancing right now. It's going to be a Mortal Stalker. I don't see any sign of Disruptors except that there's a Robotics Bay on the way. So I think maybe that is how Neeb wants to deal with these Lurkers is going to be with those Disruptors. Blinking on in here. Another Photon Overcharge does come up surrounding the Stalkers, though they've already blinked. There's nowhere they can go. They get chewed up immediately by those Lings. The Lings trying desperately to get that cannon, but well placed by Neeb. Hydra's getting a nice concave, getting rid of the gateway straight up. The rest of the army starting to show up, though, and I'm not sure that's what the Hydras want to deal with at this point, so they decide to back on out. A few workers died, handful died there. Some lurker drops in our future. These are drop lords, man. Trying to handle this with the Ling Hydra attack, and it's just a good composition, I think, with what Neeb has. Then heading back on down. So here come the lurker drops. What are in these things? Some Hydras and a couple lurkers. That is pretty intimidating stuff if you're a Protoss player. Nerchio deciding to retreat. Creep spread almost to the front door of Neeb. Not really doing much around this right side. Warp Prism does get scouted by the Overlords. I think Nerchio probably sees that. The Stalkers come in to get rid of those Overlords and maybe supply block Nerchio, depending on how things look. Another drop back here, though. Hydras. The army is here, though. The Immortals are ready to go. Picking up and get the heck out of there is Nerchio. Trapping these units a little bit. Is there anywhere for them to go? No. Ling swinging in from the right side here, too. Great concave on these Hydras. +1 missile attack has been finished. Can the Stalkers hold their own against this composition? It's going to be very close indeed. Good Blink Stalker Micro, though. They do have the +2 attack. It's going to be super close. Reinforcing Stalkers coming on up here. Another drop with Lurkers killing a lot of probes. The Hydras are still alive, getting rid of those Phoenix. Purification Nova catching a Lurker. And it looks like Neeb did win the day here. Another attack up here, though, with Lurkers and Hydras. Getting rid of Pylons. Pylons are exploding. Guardian Shield being used here as well, but Nerchio does not want to engage whatsoever. These guys are still going to town using their melee attack animation. Forced to retreat down this way, but coming back up along this way with some Lings is Nerchio taking yet another base. It is 56 to 70 total Harvesters, 12 to 22 workers killed. Nerchio has killed 22 workers. I think a lot of them were here, a lot of them up here as well, a lot of them down here with that Lurker attack. So great multi-pronged harassment from Nerchio. Makes it really hard to control the camera and cast at the same time, but I hope you're bearing with me because we can make this thing work. Warp Prism, has this done anything yet? I don't know if the Warp Prism has done anything yet. APM for these players, well over 400 currently for Nerchio, over 250 for Neeb. Overlord does end up exploding there too. Neeb is trying to get up that disruptor count. Really worried about those lurkers. Just trying to walk up the front door. What is this? Might actually catch that disruptor. And they do. They get the disruptor. They get the cybernetics core. That thing's going to die too. They are focusing down the the robotics facility, but they get the core with it. Another small attack over this way. Purification of being used to great effect on those lurkers, but this base under a lot of attack right now. Why are you going for the Nexus? No. There we go. Now spinning that down. Purification Nova killing one of the lurkers, but the robotics facility going to die. Is that next one going to be killed as well? There's no observer here either. There's a small attack that did get thwarted earlier at this point, and the robotics facility dies before it can make an observer. This does not look good at all for our Protoss player. Disruptor pinned against the mineral lines and exploded. More Lings, more Hydras streaming across the map now. We have a lot of units from Nerchio on the wall trying to hold the ramp. Are these zealots, but the Hydra is on the low ground. Photon Overcharge being used as well. Guardian Shield finally showing up, walking right into the lurkers. Are there any observers here? I don't know. I don't think there are. The lurkers absolutely going to town, tearing everything to pieces, and that's it. That's the GG from Neeb. Neeb is defeated and Nerchio is victorious. Wow, what an absolutely impressive display of the Swarm from Nerchio today. Just doing the Ling Hydra thing, getting lurkers mixed on in there too. He did have an Ultra Cavern coming up, didn't end up needing to use it, but did a great job. Like I said, securing everything against those Phoenix is a key to this matchup when you have early Phoenix coming against you as a Zerg player. Get a Spore Crawler, get a few Queens. In the end, he did end up having, how many Queens? 5 Queens. You don't need to go crazy with it. Apparently 5 is going to be fine. Expanded well too. Only lost in the end 12 workers, which is definitely within the realm of acceptability for a Zerg player. Did harassment here. The multi-pronged harass was great. Never really allowed Neeb a chance to straight up attack with the full strength of his army. And by the time he did, there were no observers left. The lurkers did their job. The Hydras did their job, and that was it. So well played indeed by Neeb, but Nerchio takes the win today for the Zerg Swarm. And that's it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter and Facebook, both at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.